It's Daniel with the Truck Insurance Channel, and in this video we are going to go through the Motor Carrier Authority application to get your MC and DOT number if you are a non-CDL hotshot trucker. All right, if that's your goal, you want to go run general freight in a non-CDL hotshot setup, follow along with this and I'll make sure you do everything the way you should so that you don't run into issues later on, okay? So check it out. First off, there's some things you should do before you start this. First off, the cost is $300. If you're gonna, if you get to the end and you've got showing more than 300, you've probably done something wrong. But you need to incorporate your business. I am not legal or accounting advice, none of that. This is just what I typically deal with on the insurance side of things. But you should definitely incorporate your business. Then get your EIN number, tax ID, FEIN, all those are the same thing. Another phone number that you can kind of monitor your voicemail. The way I did it was I set up Ring Central and had my calls automatically forward to voicemail so that I could just listen to voicemails versus having my phone ring nonstop. Then I also did two separate emails. I did one for, like important business emails and then another one for marketing. It's just another inbox that I monitored because you are going to get so much marketing calls, texts, emails, post mail. You're going to get bombarded by all the service companies trying to offer you different stuff related to your new motor carrier. All right, and then your addresses. So there's multiple questions around addresses, and you might have multiple addresses for mailing, garaging, your actual business address. All those can be different. I'm going to go through those as well, but you need to make sure you have everything in order and understand what needs to go where for addresses. All right, so we're past all that. And again, non-CDL hotshot rigs, primarily doing general freight. If you're doing auto hauling with a hotshot rig, there's a little bit of a different step here, and I'll try and cover that. But links below for everything, exactly where to go, exactly how to get here. So just follow along. Here we go. New applicant. All right, next. And I'm not going to read through all these. You guys can read them. All right. The other thing is just taking notes. Like, take notes throughout this whole process. You're going to probably have to use passwords again. You're going to need them again. So, don't create a password, not write it down. Or put it, I use Apple Notes, all right? Everything I do will go into an Apple Note so that I can easily get back to it. If you've got, something that's not Apple, it probably has some sort of notes app where you can download one. So make sure you do that. And applicant ID, save that. All right, password. It's a pretty long password too. Go security questions. I would write down the security questions and then the answers to them on your notes. Application contact type. Here we go. So applicant representative or company contact. Choose company contact. Applicant representative would be if you're paying someone to do this, or if you're doing this for the actual company, you don't work for them, you're just being, you're helping them out, or you're charging for your fees, that's applicant representative. But company contact is someone that you actually, you own the company, you're filling this out for yourself. All right, contact, title, owner. Make sure this one is an address that the owner can be contacted at. It doesn't have to be the company address, it just needs to be an address that the applicant can be contacted at. And if you're doing this yourself, it needs to be an address that you can be contacted at. Contact preference method here. Put both. It's not going to hurt. Next. Right. To capture business details regarding the applicant. Next. Does the applicant have a Dun & Bradstreet number? If you don't have one yet, it's okay. If you do have it, just plug it in. Right. Legal business name. Okay, so legal business name. First off, if you haven't incorporated yet, try and incorporate a name that's super easy. Okay? There's no amperstamps, which is this thing. There's no dashes. There's no initials with a dot in between each of them. Because look, can only the following special characters may be entered in it by the applicant. So when you go to form your business name, keep it super simple. Smaller and simple is key. You want to do some crazy long business name and then a DBA and all that, God, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. All right, so make sure your business name is really simple. And if it's got the LLC on the end, if you actually incorporated a limited liability company, you need to put the LLC on there. You're going to run into a bunch of issues if you don't. DBA name. You don't have to put a DBA name in here. If your business name is Smith Trucking LLC, you don't put in Smith Trucking LLC as the DBA name. If it was Smith Holdings Inc., and then you were actually doing a DBA called Smith Trucking whatever, then you would put the DBA in here. But if you don't have a DBA, you haven't like you're not certain you don't have a DBA, then don't put anything in here. Just skip it. Because otherwise it's just another thing you're going to have to correct. All right, is the applicant's principal place of business address the same as the application contact's address? It's the principal place of business. So is the actual business address the same as the contact address that we just plugged in like 5 screens ago? If it's exactly the same, click yes. If it's not, for whatever reason, click no. You should probably keep, like if you're going to start your business out of your home, then keep everything address-wise exactly the same. And the reason being is all these different addresses could be trouble to keep up with. If certain things don't match up, you might have trouble getting tags for vehicles. You might have trouble getting insurance. There's a lot of other things that can cause you issues. So if you can keep everything at the same address, that's great. I would avoid anything related to your motor carrier authority and insurance. I would avoid virtual addresses. All right, don't use virtual addresses for anything related to your authority or insurance applications. All right, if you want to use a virtual address for building credit, that's fine. Do that separately. Okay, just don't let virtual addresses come into play for your motor carrier authority or your insurance. Okay, because those aren't good for that. You're going to run into a bunch of issues. So we're just going to say yes, this is the same. Next. All right, business. Mailing is going to be the same unless you have a different mailing address, right? And like if you don't have a fax number, don't put it in there, but that's my actual fax number in case you guys need to fax me anything. No one uses, I have like 4 people that use fax still. All right, so EIN or SSN. If you incorporated, you're going to use your EIN, okay? And it's a 9-digit number just like a social, but it's like the social for your business. So you should have incorporated, and you should have applied and gotten an EIN. Getting your EIN is free too, so make sure you do it. There's links below. Take you exactly where you need to go to apply for an EIN after you've done your LLC incorporation. Is the applicant a unit of government? No. We are not. This video is not for you if that's your situation. Limited liability company is your most typical setup. Let's just say we're in North Carolina. You pick your state. Next, owned, controlled by a citizen of the United States. I've had people ask me about, what if you're here on like a visa, like work visa, green card, that type of thing. You need to call FMCSA if you're not a citizen. But this video is more targeted towards people that are citizens of the U.S. All right, we're gonna make the names and titles of sole proprietors, partners, or others. Company contact number 1. We're just gonna do this. Same number. This can all be exactly the same. All right, if you have multiple owners, you could put more in here. It's up to you. All right, business description. Even though we already put all this in, we're going to be putting it in multiple times. So that's just me. We'll validate external, all that good. Okay, so business description. This is just like a quick little highlight of everything you put in so far. So, verify your answers, then move on. We're moving right along here. Got a lot to go. All right. So, will the applicant operate as an intermodal equipment provider? No. Even if you will later on, that's fine. If that's all you're going to do, then this video is not for you. If you're going to do something else separately later on with this, that's okay. Just put no for now. Will the applicant transport property? Yes, you are going to transport property with your hotshot rig. All right. Will the applicant receive compensation for the business of transporting the property belonging to others? Yes. You are for hire. That's your goal. For hire, general freight, that type of thing. All right. No hazardous materials. No household goods. Household goods is like you move someone's stuff from one house to the next. All right. Not like brand new furniture or stuff from Walmart or Target. Like a lot of people get confused about household goods. You're not moving household goods. All right. This video is not for you if that's what you're actually doing. Exempt commodities. Nah. Other non-hazardous freight. That's what I want you to click. That's all I want you to click for property type. Will the applicant transport non-hazardous materials across state lines, otherwise known as interstate commerce? Yes. If you're watching this video, you're going to be applying for your motor carrier authority to cross state lines in for hire commerce. Will the applicant transport their own property? No. Even if you do move some of your own stuff every once in a while, that's different. So just answer no to this. Will the applicant transport any passengers? No, you will not. What they're asking there is, will the applicant transport any passengers in a for hire capacity? Make sure you say no to this, okay? you're not moving people from A to B for money. Like if your significant other or you set up as like a team driving situation, that's not passengers for hire. All right, will the applicant provide property or household goods broker services? Absolutely not. You will not be applying as a broker of any type while you're also applying for your motor carrier authority. You do not do that. Will the applicant provide freight forwarder services? Again, no. We are only applying for motor carrier authority so that you can run your hotshot rig. You might want to do that later on, but not right now. No to cargo tank facility, absolutely not. Driveway. This could be a possibility if you're doing auto hauling. Sometimes I see this paired up in the driveway with auto haulers. Just say no for right now. If you're in this category where you might be doing this, there's a link below. I can answer any questions. Just schedule a call or email me. I can help you out further with that. I just don't want to cover that in this video. Towaway, no. All right, general freight's already checked. If you will be doing auto hauling, you can also select motor vehicles. If you are not going to do auto hauling, do not select anything else. Just leave it on general freight for the time being. Even though you might do building materials or log poles, beams, lumber, all this other stuff, don't click on any of it. It's going to help us out with getting you insurance, okay? You go through here and you click everything because you think you're going to go haul anything you can get your hands on. That's great, but don't do it for right now. You can mess with this stuff later. We want to get you insurance and we want to make everything as smooth as possible, so leave it on general freight. Next. If you click motor vehicles, it's also going to require higher minimum limit, which we'll go over that later. All right, please provide the number of non-commercial motor vehicles the applicant plans to operate. Non-commercial motor vehicles. We're not going to operate any non-commercial motor vehicles. All right, vehicle types. What type of commercial motor vehicles will the applicant operate? One straight truck. Trailers. One owned trailer. Go right here. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles the applicant will operate in Canada or Mexico. 0 in Canada, 0 in Mexico. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles the applicant will operate solely in interstate commerce. 1. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles that will operate in intrastate commerce. Like solely in intrastate. 0. We're not doing any vehicles in intrastate only. So we're going to put 0 in there. All right. Drivers. All right. What is the number of drivers who will operate as interstate? Within a 100 air mile radius? 0. Beyond a 100 mile air radius? 1. And this is just like if you're going to start and drive and all that, like for yourself. If you're going to hire people and for some reason you might keep them in a 100 mile air radius, you can put 1 in there, but for intrastate only, we're going to be crossing state lines. We're not doing anything intrastate. What are the number of drivers with a commercial driver's license? Well, we are doing 0 because this whole video is targeted at non-CDL. The number of drivers who operate in Canada or Mexico. 0. We're not going in Canada or Mexico. If you want to do that later on, that's fine, but for right now, no. In the operation classification section of this application, you specify the entity will be transporting property, interstate, and for compensation. Will any of this property get transported in vehicles that are greater than or equal to 10,001 pounds? Yes. Make sure you select yes here. If you select no, you're going to mess up. You need to select yes because you're going to be over 10,000 pounds. You're going to be over 10,001 pounds, 10,001 or more pounds, but under 26,001 pounds for non-CDL. All right, now let's back up real quick. FMCSA determines that you are required to have 750,000 in bodily injury and property damage, which is your auto liability coverage when it comes to insurance, okay? They call it bodily injury and property damage. In insurance, that means commercial auto liability, not general liability, not your cargo. FMCSA will not care about any of that unless you're doing like hazmats or something else. All they care about is the auto liability being at least 750. But you're going to get $1 million because that's kind of industry standard and you want to run the load boards and all that. You're going to get $1 million policy, okay? And you don't worry about this 750 minimum limit. FMCSA will show 750 even once you get $1 million policy. It's because it's the minimum limit that the FMCSA wants to see. They don't care if you have more. Brokers will care if you have more. But when the insurance company does your federal filings to get you activated and everything with your authority, the FMCSA isn't going to magically pop up and say you have $1 million. Even though you do have $1 million on your policy, it's still going to show 750,000 as the minimum requirement on FMCSA. Just letting you know. Unless you selected automobiles, you plan on doing auto hauling, then the minimum requirement is going to show $1 million. All right. But you don't need to worry about that. People email me about that all the time. Like, why does it still show 750? It's normal. Don't worry about it. All right. Affiliation with others. You don't own any other trucking companies within the last, you read this seriously. You don't own any other trucking companies. You're not affiliated with any other trucking companies. If you are, you're going to have some trouble. All right. John Smith. Password from back at the beginning. Hope you saved it because you're going to need it now. There we go. Next. Getting towards the end here. Yes, I certify. Yes, I certify. You can read all this. Definitely read it all. All right. Continue. Yes, I certify. Continue. Yes, I certify. Continue. Yes, I certify. Continue. All right. Again, same password from the beginning. All right. All the compliance stuff. Next. Applicant's oath. Now we got some more stuff to certify and swear to. All right. Next. All right. Next. Register for company official FMCSA portal account. So the ID and password you got at the beginning, that's for this application. Should the company official role be assigned to the company contact, John Smith? Yes, if you're applying for yourself, which you should be. All right. User ID. Please enter non-government email ID as user ID. So you just need to put in your email, john@smithtrucking.com. Password, we're gonna set up a new password. This is something else you should be keeping notes for, because so you have a password and a user ID to do the application, and then you have this user ID and password will be to log into the FMCSA portal once you're done, once your application's done. That's what I'm doing. All right, next. Would you like to use the same security questions? Yes. Next. Register for company official FMCSA portal account. Next. Yes, I acknowledge. Next. Next. Same thing again. All right, next. All right, boom. So to proceed with submitting the applicant's application, an application fee of $300 is required. You move forward, you're gonna pay your $300 fee, and you're good to go. Then you'll get your DOT number. You'll get an MC number pretty quick, same day, next day. And then you'll also start getting a million emails from everyone trying to market you for services, insurance, all kinds of stuff. Check out some of the other links below. Thanks for watching this, and like and subscribe. I'll have a lot more content on Hotshots here soon. Thank you. Have a good day.